Riding Solo here with Two Vets, One Mic. And we have our guest, Stella Baker, here with us to tell us about her journey as a military spouse and what life has been like for her. So I briefly talked to Stella months ago, but she is a connection from Celeste. And so what intrigued me about her story was her being a business coach. I am still kind of trying to find my way to my own business. I have not landed there yet. Right. I'm still on my post-military journey in corporate America, which I love, by the way. But Stella, why don't you tell us first, I guess, maybe where you're from and your affiliation with the military, how you got introduced to the community, and we'll go from there.
Um, I happened to marry into the military. My husband was married to the military before I got here, and then it just so happened that I came along for the ride. So I was in the middle of the adventure when he moved to Alabama 90 days after we had just started dating. And I was like, I have just met you. I don't even know if I like you. Like, bye, friend. Then packed him up and moved him down there, and then he called every day ever since. So
Mm,
he's pretty great. I think the world of him. He's one in a million. But in saying that, it has been a wild adventure as a military spouse. I didn't come in my 20s, right? I came in my late 30s. And so I have a different perspective as a business professional who's owned my own business, and it helped coach others to build theirs and do what they need to do. And so, I mean, as far as resiliency goes, I thought that I was like, that I had the tools and resources just from my own innate abilities. Turns out the military has resiliency down to a science. I'm like, oh, you guys, all of the resources that are out there for individuals about like how to navigate a tough space, and here's how you reintegrate, right? It's all about connection and building these relationships, because you really do need a support system. If you don't have one, go get one. But the
hmm
reality is that the military community is just this wonderful tight knit community that's always there to try to help pick up and support our members as we navigate the world. But
hmm
we're all just trying to support the mission, right? Like we're just all trying to get it done. And so whether or not you're the active service person that's going in uniform, or you're the person holding down the fort on the back end, getting, making sure the dogs aren't getting hit by the car, and, all the things that come along with that, right? Like we're all just doing our best. So
Yeah.
coming to this space, once you're in, like you see why people just have such an affiliation for the military, because of how warm and welcoming it can be. I
hmm
know that's not everybody's experience, but overall, my I wouldn't I wouldn't not recommend this to everybody. I think it's a wonderful thing. So
hmm So
yeah.
you met your husband on the tail end of his career?
So yes, I met him in the middle, and he
Middle.
actually, we are still active duty until
Oh,
he
okay.
tells us when he tells us when the ceremony date is. So he has
Okay.
officially dropped paperwork. The official out time will be March of 2026, but I think his forever last day, I think, is going to be like in September. So I'll keep you
hmm
posted when I have a date, but I haven't
Okay.
heard yet. So he's got to burn up a lot of leave, and this is just kind of how he's going to get it done. So
Right.
it's an adventure, like where it's a whole new chapter, it's a whole new skill set, right? Like it's one set of skills to navigate the active life. It's another to even get through the transition of transitioning, in addition to, right, like post-military life. So these are all various stages of the process, and anybody who's coming in it with impatience should just be very humble about their experience, because everyone is learning new skills in these moments, and it's going to take a time to adjust. So that's my
hmm
feedback on that. Tell me about your experience. How do you feel like that's accurate and true?
Oh, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. I think what we don't hear a lot of is how I think one thing, I think sometimes the active duty people are they have their own community, and sometimes the military spouses have their own community, because so sometimes we don't like get together and talk about maybe how
We
difficult
all do
some of
this
the
together.
transitioning, if you're like a military couple and you have other military couples that, somebody's a civilian, somebody's not. But I think hearing the experience from somebody that came in halfway through their partner's
Their own
journey,
career, right? Like,
and
and
you had
like
your own
it's,
life, you had your own career. So tell me
yeah.
how it was like, and I'm sure you've experienced based on our conversations, PCSs, right? You know how you have
Oh
to
yeah.
maybe
Oh my
stop
gosh.
something and
The
move
last
up,
one.
move like move from your friends and then go somewhere else. So from your perspective, how was that?
We have moved 6 times in 5 years.
Oh wow.
This is just like this is like this is that's just how the cards like dished out for us. And so that obviously is a factor in our choosing to not continue the adventure, right? Like we're finally in a spot that we like we're finally in a in a area that we could see ourselves being here for a minute. It's we don't necessarily believe, again, from a financial standpoint, from an economical standpoint. This is a very relatively low cost of living, and the quality of house that we have at the current given moment, we are unlikely to get in another. Whether or not we believe, whether or not it's true, right? Like these are the stories that we tell ourselves about why we make the decisions that we make.
Right.
But in this capacity, right? Like this seems to be where it's going to be for us. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that's scary because if you're used to moving and and having change every 2 years, the idea of making a decision for an extended period of time, like even 5 years, is overwhelming for somebody like me, right? I want someone to make a decision and then I will live with the fallout of that decision, right? Like that's
Mm-hmm.
how I like to roll. And my husband is the like consummate researcher, planner, like 50 years in advance, wants to have the game plan like mapped out. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm an entrepreneur. This is not my lane. Do not bring this to me, right? I do not value risk the way that you do, right? Like entrepreneurs are wired different. We have a different value system about our ability to withstand risk. And that's a magic superpower, y'all. Like come to the
Yes.
table, right? Like I got
Mm-hmm.
things to tell
Mm-hmm.
you, right? And so in this, when we talk about like constantly reinventing yourself, like you owe it to yourself to never get tied to an identity, right? Even as a military spouse, even attached to a military community, I'm here, like, I love it. I'm here to talk about it all day. But I'm saying that you're more than that, right? As
Right.
it happens to be Mother's Day, right? Like you
Mm-hmm.
are a mom, you are an aunt, you are a teammate, you are a spouse,
Mm-hmm.
you are right, like you're a neighbor, right? Like you're all of these other things, and that must go into all of the other aspects of your life, including your career, right? So try on all the things, do all the things, even if you
Mm-hmm.
tiptoe into entrepreneurship by having a side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
That is valid, right? Like you don't have to go 1,000 miles an hour to get into it, right? Like you
Mm-hmm.
can ease into it. You can try it on for size. It's called learning at scale. Heads up, y'all. This is like from the business school, right? Like start super small and perfect super small, and then expand out and with the ability to sustain it, right? Like we don't
Mm-hmm.
build arbitrarily from nothing. We're not building, right? Like we're not growing for size if we don't need to. Like there has to be a reason why we do the things that we do, right?
Right.
And so when you're trying new things on, when you get out of the military, or even while you're in the military, right? Like if you're a military spouse, this is for you, right? Like there's nothing stopping you from giving it a shot at small scale right this second. And your
So,
girl urges you to do this
were
today.
you an entrepreneurship? Did you decide to, were you an entrepreneur before you joined the military community or,
Yes.
yeah, so that was your
Yes.
thing anyway. So tell me about
Yes.
what you do. What do you
So
do?
I'm a business. I was a business coach, and I actually had my own business coaching practice. Ultimately, when you learn how to build a business, you can build all businesses of any shapes and size. So, right, like this is not gate-kept information. Like there are
Mm-hmm.
roadmaps on how to do this, and so like
Mm-hmm.
the faster you get this information, the faster you can go do all the things that you need to go do. The
Mm-hmm.
reality is that not everybody is suited for entrepreneurship, right? I happen to have a personality type that kind of thrives on that. I don't necessarily need to be accountable to other people in order to achieve my goals. I tend to be a self-starter, right? I tend to be, and if you are like-minded in this way, come with me, right? Like there's a lot of stuff here. But in saying this, right, like as we're moving through it, right, like not everybody's wired to do that. And it's okay if this season of your life, that's not where you're at, right? Like just do the sustainable work. If nothing else, the lesson I want to leave everybody else on the planet with is we have to stop the cycle of what we believe is the American way, which is broken, okay, which is not serving anybody. We have to
Mm-hmm.
talk about sustainable stewardship. We have to talk about
Mm-hmm.
building 100-year companies, and we need to do it in a way that is meaningful as we relate to how I don't even know the number of humans on this planet, but we can serve everybody, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
not pie, right? We have an unlimited ability to achieve all of our objectives if we do it in a strategic manner. One of the
Mm-hmm.
ways that we do that is your wonderful podcast that you have, right? You have these
Mm-hmm.
resources that everybody needs to hear as fast as possible,
Mm-hmm.
and connecting them to others who can do the same, right? And this is how you build your brand, your podcast, your sales funnel, right? Your
Mm-hmm.
workflow, whatever you want to call it. All of these principles are the same.
Mm-hmm.
So once you do it, you can do it. But in my case, right, like if you're tired and if you have illnesses, if you have family obligations, if you're a caregiver, right, like being an entrepreneur might just be one bridge too far, right? Like it just might be one plate too many in the plates that you're juggling in the air, right? Like you don't have to do these things. And so,
Mm-hmm.
but the reality is that in a tough economic climate like what we currently have, in a world where it is increasingly uncertain about how we move forward, I recommend that you keep all of your options open and be very open-minded about what is available to you, because you may find yourself in a position where you might not want to be an entrepreneur, but you may need to be one,
Right.
right? These
Right.
times are coming, right? Like in the case of myself, as a part of my story of being an entrepreneur, I have also been out of entrepreneurship and actually been an employee for an organization for the last couple of years. And it was purely mainly from COVID is the reason why I chose not to go back and rebuild in a cold market. Because once you've done that twice in 5 years, you're kind of burnt out of the experience, right? Like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
not everybody can do this, right? Like you just got to take a
Mm-hmm.
lap. So like in this process, I went to go work for an organization with all the skills and knowledge that I brought as an entrepreneur and really enjoyed being an employee. I was actually a contractor, right? A consulting contractor was the actual role that I held, and
Mm-hmm.
which was delightful. It was the best of both worlds. I had a client
Mm-hmm.
that I serviced, and then I didn't have to worry about a paycheck, right? Like I was able to do the things that I wanted to do, but I wasn't necessarily accountable to somebody's arbitrary rules that don't make any sense for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a whole world out there of ways to win, right? There are ways forward, right? And so it's just educating people about all the things they can do so they can stop doing the stuff that makes them miserable, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
can, because you're not going into business to build work for yourself. You're going into business to improve your life as a whole. And that doesn't always mean that you're, slaving away and giving your lifeblood to it when you have obligations and priorities that are just as important as your business and the money that you bring in, right? So we have to be mindful about how we build stewardship for organizations. And this message goes to employees as well. If you're a workaholic who's spending 60 hours, 80 hours a week at the office and you're not home doing what you got to do with your family, right? Like you need to reassess that.
Right.
And
Right.
that's my
Mm-hmm.
soapbox rant.
No, no, that's good stuff. You said so many good things.
Mm,
One thing that sticks out is sustainable stewardship.
mm.
Um, what do you mean by that?
Back to the 60 to 80-hour work week that I just mentioned previously, that is not a sustainable practice for human behavior. Okay. It isn't. And the reason why I tell you this is because the reality is if you're devoting that amount of time to an organization, you are not the highest and best value to the organization in the long run. Personal knowledge and your pursuit of education outside of formal education is a priority for you if you're looking to make the most enriched life for yourself that you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
This also benefits organizations. Proper sleep is important. We are not robots. The work-life balance that we talk about is a myth, right? Like it's always a juggle about what is going to the back burner today. And that
Mm-hmm.
happens all across the board, right? There are 9,000 frameworks for how we talk about this, but we talk about prioritizing work for the human life rather than building a business that humans work around, right? Like this is systemic. We can change it. These are changes that we can all make. There are 8,000 reasons why we don't, but ultimately we have the ability to influence this outcome, and we should because it's for the
Mm-hmm.
betterment of everybody. And so by doing this, we build healthier teams, we build healthier community organizations and their businesses. Um, we build teams that people don't want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
We build organizations and teams that aren't necessarily the highest paid teams, right? Because the loyalty is there, because the camaraderie is there, because there's a social human component to coming to work. And
Mm-hmm.
none of that has anything to do with physically coming to the office. So just guys, like there's a way to do this, and
Mm-hmm.
the more people I educate on how to do this correctly, like the better everybody wins. So like get the information out there, get it to as many people as possible. Where like we have to build these organizations today because there are so many bad ones out there. So like this is me, like this is my like waving the banner. If you have ever been called to entrepreneurship, I want you to start small and bootstrap it. If you don't know what that is, go look that up. Right, like that's a place to start. It's tangible and real. If you are an artist and you happen to just have the ability to open up a little landing page website for Shopify or Spot, I don't know if the other Squarespace is another one, right? Like there's tons of resources out here available to you. And then start doing your art and then selling stickers, right? Like there's a way for you to do this that doesn't have any impact on social media or what the algorithm's going to do for you, right? Like nobody's stopping you from doing this. The only thing
Mm-hmm.
stopping you from doing this is you getting up to do it, right? Like, or what is the reality and that what we have to talk about is our social media consumption. So if you happen to have the clicker timer on your phone that goes in and tells you in a horrifying manner every single week how much time you spend on your three favorite apps, I won't even name them. I won't even tell you what they are because they're different for everybody, but that'll kill your spirit. Because ultimately, here's the math. Here's the reality of the story that I'm getting ready to tell you. The average human has the ability over the course of their lifetime to teach themselves 6.8 expert level skill sets. What do I
Oh,
mean
wow.
by that? I mean, teaching yourself pattern drafting for sewing and then teaching yourself to sew on top of it, in addition to gardening, in addition to art, in addition to language, in addition to coding for computers if you decide to go that direction, right? The sky is unlimited, right? Like whatever way you decide to do this knowledge is great. Like knock yourself out. The
Mm-hmm.
reality is that you have to stop social media use, which is the worst thing ever because we spend so much time on it for a lot of different reasons that aren't good for us. We are addicted to it.
Yes.
It is a nervous system response. We automatically are conditioned for our bodies to listen
Mm-hmm.
for when our phone is getting ready to give us a notification.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
should stop that today. But all that to say, over the course of your lifetime, you have the ability to learn to teach yourself of your own ability and a skill set, right? Like 6.8 levels of expert level skill sets, communication, language, mathematics, whatever direction you decide to go. I won't even limit you. You can pick all the topics that you want. I'm just saying that over the course of your lifetime, you have the ability to cultivate these habits if social media had not been sucking up your time. And the reality is that for the random American that's out running around, we probably only identify two, maybe half of a subject in any one given topic that we claim to be experts in. Expert level is 10,000 hours. However you get there is entirely up to you to get that done, right? And so my job is to give you the knowledge. What you do with knowledge is your business, right? You owe it to yourself to think about how you fill your soul and feed your soul and play with your soul and live in this body and be on this planet. And it doesn't have to be for money. It doesn't have to be for consumerism. It doesn't have to be for kind of like the world that we currently live in. It like doesn't have to do anything about the out there, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
but this is a way that we enrich ourselves to be better humans, to be better teammates in our teams and our communities, as well as helping us be better employees. Or if we happen to go into business, it helps make us better business owners, right? Because nobody wants to work for a toxic boss. How do you know if you're a toxic boss if you've never been an entrepreneur before?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just because you're good at a talent, that makes you a technician. That does not make you a business owner with a generalist skill set. Different skill sets are necessary at different levels of the game. So lifetime learning is 100% the route I would tell anybody to go down. Nobody is going to block you out of the library. Nobody is going to gatekeep your ability to check out all the books that you want to check out, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're not a reader, I'm not even here to like go that direction. There's a whole world of orators out there who are talking about their life experiences at your local civic center, who are over here giving keynote speeches at lunch and learns, like that are happening in the business community through the local chamber of commerces. So like, there's a world of knowledge out there. You just have to be willing to go find it, right? And it's a long game. It's going to take a while to do. So be
Mm-hmm.
patient about the process, right? Like navigate. If time, education, and money were not a factor, what would you be doing? And then go do that thing.
Mm-hmm.
right?
I
Like,
think you said a few things that I want to circle back on.
yeah,
I think entrepreneurship and thinking differently about money. I think
risk,
starting,
risk.
but I think the pandemic opened up a floodgate, right? Because we
Yes,
learned that we didn't have to be in a building to work efficiently,
yes,
right? We learned
yes,
that. So I think people got more creative about ways to make money.
yes.
And so I know it was a lot of
Which is
talk,
not illegal, immoral, or unethical. I just want to like throw that out
right?
there, y'all. You owe it to yourself to win.
Right.
And you get to. Like nobody's stopping. I just want to like for the folks in the
Hmm.
back who just did not hear this conversation and might be surprised to hear this coming being yelled at them at full volume. Um, nobody is stopping you from being a raging success today. But if you're not in a position to be a raging success today, you can crush it tomorrow. Like all you got to do is like go do it, right? Like go do the work. Be fired up, be motivated, be enthusiastic, be unapologetic. Take up all the space. Like take up every square inch of your square that you're in because there's nobody like you on this planet. Right? So like here's the argument from an entrepreneur in my perspective on this topic. You have tired human resources individuals who are posting templates on the internet for a job description, which is a blank, right, canvas, right? Like they may or may not have read it. I hope they have. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It just comes with the territory. In addition to this, you have softwares that have been sold to these individuals about like the ATS process, right? Here's how we improve your experience and here's how we get better candidates. Except for the fact that that software is valuable, and it's valuable because you have the English language and the synapses that go along with it, and the ability to communicate ideas in multiple dialects and ways. Okay, and the problem that we run into for people who rely heavily on this and don't take themselves as professionals seriously in their roles
Hmm.
is the fact that it's screening out some of our best talent because they're not using the word structures that the software has. This is a problem. Like, we should talk about this. Like, I want someone to talk to me about this. I want somebody come talk to me about this, right? And then tell me how you justify that, right? As it stands right this
Yeah.
second, this is the camp that I come from, and this may you may want to tailor this after if you don't want to include this in the
Oh,
interview.
no,
But
no, no.
I have
It's
been
it's included.
unemployed for 15 months. A servant of my community. I am servant oriented, right? Like I don't have an ego. I don't, like I'm not like I'm here to learn everything there is to learn. I am willing to teach myself anything, and I have demonstrated my ability to do so. And I've put in 16 applications to Amazon, and I did a fellowship with them through the U.S. Chamber of Commerce,
And still no
and I
job.
can't get a job. Something is broken. Something is broken. And the hard part is, and this is where you're getting the soapbox rant side of this, then I have the judgment or the self-doubt or the gaslighting of this crazy experience that makes me a professional in my field who has gone above and beyond the knowledge and learning of almost all of my peers at a subject that I am genuinely curious and passionate about. And your girl can't get anybody to talk to her at all. And I'm over here doing podcast interviews, right? Like I'm over here building a Scrum Master website for anybody who will do it, right? Like I'm literally like, if I can't find my job description, your girl's going to go out and build a business, right? And bring Scrum teams to me so that I can be my own Scrum Master, right? So I can build my sales funnel, right? Like
Hmm.
this is
I think
insanity.
it's a few things, right? I
Something is
think
broken. This is complex. This is a real complex problem. Like there's a lot going on here that we can unpack, but
yeah, I think I once had a career coach say in one of the seminars I attended is that, it's the invisible job market, right? And the invisible job
yes.
market happens with networking. So I have been in positions where
It's like network
I've
everywhere.
applied for tons and tons of jobs, right?
Yeah,
Rejection after rejection, or if you go on LinkedIn and you're a premium member, like I have been
I
throughout
have been.
different times in my
Yep.
career, you can go on, a job can be posted, and an hour later you have 100 people that's already applied,
In
right?
addition,
And I
okay,
won't even get
so
on the recruiters
that's
that
one side of it. Like that's
I've
one
also
filter
had
of it.
recruiters follow up and ghost me,
Yeah.
or they're so delayed in their response, and it's like, well, do I want to work for a
Mm.
company that says, "Hey, I'm gonna schedule time with you," and this literally has happened to me. Hey, I want to schedule time. I follow up, and then nothing goes right, and then you're thinking like, man, I really really wanted that job, but
No, they're
do I
filling their
want
pipeline,
to?
right? Like you got to think about
Right.
it
Do
from
I
a
want to
business
go? Do I want to
perspective.
work for a company that
No,
their recruiters don't follow up for 2 or 3 weeks, right? So then
no.
you're conflicted. So I think it's a few things that
Yeah,
I wanted to just circle back on. One is the entrepreneurship thing. It blew up in
yeah,
between in COVID, blew up.
yeah.
Everybody started thinking differently about money. At least that's how
Yeah.
my algorithm looked, right? It was about generational
You
wealth. It was
had
about what have we
ent-
been doing, right? Let can we think about work and money different? But then it felt like it swung to the different side, like a different extreme. Now all of a sudden you have people that have been 9 to 5 workers
Mhm.
for 20 some odd
Who are
years,
like we're out. Yeah.
almost talk down about the 9 to 5 work and kind of put on the pedestal the entrepreneurship work, but they would say things like, you gotta hustle, you gotta grind. And so
Hmm.
that 80-hour week for
That's
the
toxic.
man turns into an 80-hour week for yourself,
Right.
right?
Except for the fact that if you're not taking time out of your business to work on your business,
Right.
there is no reason for you to go be a business owner. Do not go do that for somebody else,
No,
right?
but
Like
then
go be
you
a
hear,
zombie for other people, right? Like if you're going to go live a life in many directions, which is what I'm a proponent of and what I advocate for, and I can talk about that at length, but you have to, y'all, right? Like you have to fill your cup up and you got to fill it up in the way that lights you up. And that may not necessarily be an 80-hour work week for some people, right? Like it might
but
not
then
be,
you come
right?
to the money piece though, right?
Right.
Like
So
people are stuck they're
ultimately,
stuck. Like not a lot of people can afford to
yes,
be an entrepreneur, right? Because that's a huge
yes.
investment. Not,
I mean,
depending
having
on what you
reliable
have in it, like,
electricity and the yeah, then the ability to get to the internet, right? Like these are first world problems, right? Like the rest of the world does not have reliable energy and does not have the ability to get to reliably to the internet, right? Like so when we talk about like building for the world, we have to talk about building for everybody, right? Like
mm-hmm,
for all of us and what we're going
mm-hmm,
to do about that, right? But into the other component of it for people who are in a first world country who do happen to have a relatively stable economic environment, right? Like the reality is that they're stressed because they're, two jobs, one, whatever the case may be, illness, the 9,000 reasons that people have to do what they do to get money, right? Like how they have to navigate in this world. I'm not here to pass judgment on others for what they have to do to get it done. And I'm not here to glorify performative behavior, right? Like that's not what I'm here to, I'm not here to go down those roads, but when we talk about like you're a whole person on this planet, you were not born here to work.
yeah, I think,
Okay. So like it comes into like if you like it's one thing if it's needs based because you've got kids and you've got to put money on the table and you've got to pay rent and like all those things and those are all real, valid, super important, absolutely mission critical things that have to happen every day. But the reality is what I'm talking to is every day we make choices about what we choose to pay our time and attention to, and I'm advocating that you owe it to yourself to think about future you and try to help future you get there. And the way
no,
that
no, I totally
you
agree.
know what I
I
mean?
think what people lack though, and usually I see two different extremes. Either like, hey, I want the stability, and I like to
Yeah.
call myself a pragmatic dreamer, right? I
Yeah.
do have big ideas, but I'm very much a logical, reasonable, rational thinker. So
Yes.
if I can't see it working, I have a hard time. Versus the people that, are more visionary, like, hey, don't really care about risk, like, hey, it's gonna work out. I'm not one of those it's gonna work out people. I have to see
Mm.
it, but I
Look, if
still
you have
want
a
my own
trust fund,
business,
that's a different
right?
conversation. The rest of us don't.
Right.
I'm a first generation college graduate, right? Like
Hmm.
I'm only going to get wealth if I can manage to find it and build it for myself, right? Like
Hmm.
it's not going to come to me. And so in that vein, right? Like but it's not there's no morality tied to money, and I think that's the important thing to mention, right? Like you're wanting money because it helps you live the life that you want to live, or you want money because it allows you to do the things that you want to do in your existence for others, right? Like whatever that
Hmm.
happens to look like these needs are there, right? But
Right.
the reality is if I am a minimum wage employee and I'm working two jobs, that doesn't make me less valuable for doing that, right? Like I either don't
Sure.
have this knowledge or the skill sets or the resources to get me out of it, or like to get
Right.
out of that as a person who comes from poverty, right? I could talk to you about that ad nauseum
Mm-hmm.
for real. And so like it's just one of these things where this is a complex topic that you're not going to solve in 5 minutes. And
Oh,
so
for sure.
spending time learning about all the different components of soft skills being probably the thing that I think makes help people make the most money in their careers. The way that you can feel the temperature of a room and then understand timing, right? Understand strategic
Mm-hmm.
planning, understand the cost benefit analysis of potentially waiting for better circumstances to begin a negotiation, right? Conflict resolution, negotiation of conflicts, right? Skills and abilities. These are all books that you can get at your local library, right? Like with a library card, which is super awesome and amazing. I cannot talk to you about how great libraries are, but they're entirely underutilized resources, especially for budding entrepreneurs. The
Mm-hmm.
librarians want you to talk to them about your business plans because they're going to tell you about all the books that you're going to need to read, about all the business permits that you're going to need to have for the various components that you do. They're going to get you in touch with an accountant of some magnitude to make sure that you're setting up your business correctly from a legal standpoint. And then all of the other components that come along with just being in an environment that is primed to help you win. And like all you have to do is go mine it, right? Like all you have to do is like other people have done the work. Like there's a whole world of knowledge out there that is available that's not even on the internet, right? Like it
Well,
that
how do you package how do you package that? Because some people they need to learn those soft skills. Some people already have
yeah,
them, right? So say for instance, you've been working like
they're
maybe in
all
corporate
skills.
America or you're in the military and now you
Yep.
have 20 years of management or you have 20 years of leadership. And now you're saying, hey, I'm working and I'm okay with working for something, but I think I can add value and kind of work for myself. Where do you even start? Like, how do you become profitable? Right.
Right. This is a tough nut to crack in terms of like the code of the experience. The reality is that it boils down to if there's a moment to this. If time, education, and money weren't a factor, what would I be doing? I really want you to start there because the reality is that you're wanting to be profitable, but you don't even know if you want to do the work yet. Like you don't even know that if you want to go down that road yet, which is what I want
Mm-hmm.
you to help figure you out before you go down that road, right? Like why do all of
Mm-hmm.
that work to find out that this is not the lane you want to, park your car in, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
just hear me out, right? Like there's a method to the madness. So you figure out what you wanted to do if you won the lottery today and if illness weren't a factor, right? Like if you had all the time and money, like if you had an implant that gave you all the knowledge of the internet in your head, right? Like what would you be doing? Then I want you to go do that. Whatever that is, right?
I mean,
And I'm not
how?
saying for forever. I'm literally just saying I want you to stop what you're
So
doing
do
and go
you
do
go
that.
do it? Do you go do it for free? Do you put what kind of framework do
If
you
you
put
love
around it?
it,
How
you're
do
gonna
you
do it for
offer?
free,
How
right?
do you
Like,
offer it? But how do you offer it to people? Say I want to be a career coach, or I want
yeah,
to, or I see some deficiencies in supervisor and leadership training in corporate America, right? Like,
right.
how do I package what I know and say, hey, this could be useful? Where do you even start? And not saying you got to start. I'm just saying
Oh, I
ballpark,
love
like,
that. No,
or
no, no.
like,
Like,
I
here's
think that's
a
what a lot of people want to.
guerrilla tactics. Like, here's the cheap and dirty way of doing this. I want you to immediately go to Facebook and I want you to go to Google and I want you to go in your market, whatever your size of market is that you choose to, whether or not it's zip codes, whether or not it's area codes, you name it, I'll leave that up to you. And then at the end of the day, you're going to be like, career coaches near me and whatever Google pulls up. And your research at that particular point in time is what are all of your competitors doing? And does that sound like the stuff that you want to do? And if it doesn't, maybe you don't want to go down that road, right? Like maybe that's not the camp for
Mm.
you. Or you hire a business coach who tells you how to do it better and faster than they do it, and then you go do the way that without having to do the things that the people are doing that you don't want to do, right? Like
Hmm.
it's not no. I'm just saying that you need to be strategic about how you navigate it, right? The world is your oyster and you have the internet on your side, right? Like go leverage the internet. Like see what all the websites are that are out there, right? Obviously, educate yourself about what a reputable website looks like, what a reputable business looks like, right? Do your own due diligence so that way you're comparing apples to apples. One of the ways
Hmm.
that you can do that is you can actually go to a business franchisor on the internet that
Hmm.
sells franchises for money. That's what they do. That's their business model. That's how they make their
Mm-hmm.
money. And then you can go into, these are all legitimate businesses because they're being sold, right? Like these are all businesses that are alive and well in the world. Maybe you want to try one of those on. Maybe you want a turnkey system where you walk into an organization and a toolbox that's already been built for you. The
Mm-hmm.
reality is that you are subject to the whims and wishes of somebody else's opinion that you didn't build yourself. As an entrepreneur, this might be important to you. In addition
Mm-hmm.
to the fact that legally, you may be legally obligated to pay money to that individual for their knowledge, work, school, toolbox, all the knowledge in the form of royalties or dues or subscription fees. All of this is knowledge that you may be familiar with from a consumer perspective. I urge you to educate yourself as a business owner. Come
Mm-hmm.
to it from a business owner mindset. And I'm here to tell you, it's not what you think it is if you're a consumer. If you've
Mm.
only ever been a consumer and you've only ever thought about it from your side of the transaction of you actually purchasing money for a good and service, right, and what you get out of it, there's a whole nother side to it that you have to consider
Mm-hmm.
from a business
Mm-hmm.
perspective.
Now, what made you want to be a business coach? And I also think about business, right? Because that's where
Yeah,
my education background is. Working business now in corporate America is all about, what problem can you solve, right? I
right.
always think about that with business. If you can
Yes.
solve a problem, you have a business, right? Now, how
Do you want to
how
solve those
profitable it
problems?
is, that's
Mm-mm.
something else. But are you solving a problem? What problem can you solve? I always think about that
Yeah.
with business. So, what made you be go into being a business coach?
At the particular point in time, I was mentored by a business coach working under him as a business development manager. During my time with him, people kept coming to me for counsel and advice and various other informations. Across that, I read every book he brought in because nobody can stop you from winning, right? Like only you. And so like I would every time that he would buy a book and not read it, I would ask to borrow the book and then take it home and read it over the weekend and then bring it back to him and put it back on the shelf. And did
Mm.
that for all of his coaching books. And so I have read all of the coaching books, the business coaching books from Action Coach. Like if you're familiar with Brad Sugars and his whole deal, he's got like, I don't know, 55 different books. I've read all of
Now,
those
what is his
books.
name again?
Brad Sugars from Action Coach.
Oh no, I never heard of
So
him.
if you're familiar, so I'm a licensed action coach. I have a license from them that I got in a quirky way, but another story for another day. But to go into it, I went down this road of like watching somebody that did not care about people as much as I did. And like I'm like, man, you're really just here for your leased car and your second house and your vacation. Like you're here for you, right? Like you're here for what you're doing, right? Like, and I was genuinely here to be of service to others. And so I was like, didn't he tell you this in coaching? How come he didn't tell you this in
Mm-hmm.
coaching? And how come why didn't so and so mention this to you? Oh, why didn't you guys talk about that? Like I would have brought that up on the first day because that was a problem that you needed to solve. Oh my God. Which gets
Mm.
into like the business of business coaching, right? You can say that you want to help people, right? But as a business coach, the faster that you help people, the less clients you have because they no longer need you, like, because you've solved their problem, their pain
Oh.
point. So, from a business coaching perspective, if you're a business coach and you want to have a whole book of clients to go on forever, is you
Mm-hmm.
dole out the information a piece at a time as you see fit, as to gatekeep the experience and
Mm-hmm.
to extend the experience, to extend the amount of time that you spend with the individual. If it happens organically and everybody's on board with it and everybody's cool with it and everybody's great, awesome. But the reality is that for some business owners, they need answers immediately and they can't be drug out for 18 months about it, right? Like some people have a real and meaningful problem that they need you to solve today, and it's in your fiduciary responsibility as a business coach to service your client to the highest and best needs of their needs from their perspective. And if you don't do that, you are not a business coach that I want to talk to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is a complex problem. So when we talk about like building a business, right, like and what it actually means to be a business coach, business owner, right, like do you want to serve people, coach people, right, and just have a calendar full of people that you meet with and have a conversation with every single day, and that's the life for you? Cool, there's a place for that. Like there's a role out there in the world that you can already have that you can go do and be, right, like without having to build your own thing, right? It's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of work to build your own thing. And so there are a lot of people who then go down the path of going into franchises and like buying a turnkey system, which is similar to what the action coach model is. You have a person, an individual, Brad Sugars, or if it were, I won't even use his business. I'll use my fictional business that I have not made up at all right this second as a way to encourage somebody to go out and build it. I'll tell you how to do it right this second. It is a dog bar, like dog facility. Okay, catered specifically to dogs, not humans. Okay, so it would take over a building similar to Circuit City or Kmart's or any one of the old buildings that are existing but empty right the second that still need to be lived on and have a place for them. They need to be lots of room, big, huge, like Costco sized. And so
Mm,
inside of it, you want to have a grooming station with hydraulic tables for big and elderly dogs to be able to get up into so that the dog owner can wash their own dog for a fee of $10 for a drop-in rate. Or they could pay a
mm,
subscription fee for a monthly subscription of $50 a month to come in and wash your dog whenever you feel like it. So every time you go camping, you can just stop by and wash your dog and then go home. Like you don't even have to
mm,
use the facilities, you could just use that component of it.
mm,
In addition to this facility, this fictional dog facility, this franchise that you could go build, is the fact that you would have a gift shop, one-stop shop for your dog, which would have the allergy meds and dietary needs of the dog itself that it needs for its individual stops, as well as toys and treats and dog bags and like the things like that, the necessary things that you need for your pet, right, all in one spot. Similar to Petco or PetSmart. The difference here is that this is a members discount scenario. They get their wins from bulk purchases, so they actually get a lower rate than your vet does. And so the benefit is that you would come do your stuff here as a one-stop shop. All that to say,
mm.
above and beyond all of that, there are two separate entrances. You have the I just want to play with my family member entrance for unfriendly dogs, where there's an indoor air conditioned facility to protect your dog from inclement weather, right? So that in the summer, when it was 105 degrees, you'd be able to take your dog to an AC facility and run their faces off. In addition to if it were 2 degrees outside, you would still be able to take your dog and run them outside without damage to their paws from the cold environment, right?
Right.
Scenarios of this nature. In addition to, aside from the aggressive dog section, because we love all dogs, like there are no bad dogs, just dogs that need extra love, right? Like in
Right.
and systems. Then
Mm-hmm.
we have the open play, right? Like if your dog is a regular run-of-the-mill dog that's happy to play with others and socialized, they go into doggy day camp and off you go, right? Like you're there. But the best part of all of this is the fact that you have drop-in rates for people who want to pay individually one off, like as they go, as they go. And then you have a subscription fee for an unlimited position. So you're capturing two pieces of the market. In addition to, don't forget, it's a franchise concept. If you build proof of concept of this facility, as I'm telling you right this second, all you have to do is sell your idea of this franchise to other people, and that is your income stream. You don't have to
Mm,
go build it for yourself. You don't have to go do
mm-hmm.
these things. And so, like, there's a turnkey system right there that somebody has not taken the time to build yet that is
Mm-hmm.
desperately needed in the world that people would pay a blue fortune to have. In addition to the fact that place that I mentioned that has the open play section, it also has a bar, which would offer social time for the human, right? Like while their
Mm-hmm.
dog was getting run out, they could go get a beer, whatever the case may be. In addition to the fact that you could have grooming, you could have the actual obedience schools on puppy daycare. Like you could have the training
So just like
sessions
a
built into it.
whole, yeah, like a whole,
One stop
yeah.
shop,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody's doing it.
No, that's
Nobody's
a
doing it.
great idea. Mm-hmm.
Like if my husband were to die today, I would use the money from the insurance money, and this is what I would go build, and that would be my retirement.
Wow.
I wouldn't need to do anything else.
Right,
Right?
right. No,
Like
that would be wildly popular. Mm-hmm.
not only would I have the original facility for proof of concept that would be bringing in revenue daily, weekly, passively, whatever it happened, from the incurred expenses that I've already put into it, right? I would then have a variable income stream from the franchising component of it, and that would be in perpetuity. That would be until the end of time. And think
Mm-hmm.
about it. How many Petco locations are there? How many Walmart or Kmart locations are there in the world that are sitting empty?
Right.
That would be
And I
cheap
think
from
COVID,
a rent
another thing that
standpoint.
happened. Right. No, another thing that happened with COVID, a lot of vacant buildings, right?
Yeah,
Like, so no, that would be a good space
you
to
did
go
not expect
in.
to go here. I know.
No,
If
I
we
was
need to
just
circle back
thinking,
around to any of that, right? Like we can.
no, no, no. I think it was good because it kind of naturally goes into my process and you kind of spoke on things kind of naturally, like if you want to start a business, what you should do. And you already said that
Nobody's
Google is your
stopping
best
you.
friend.
Go.
Google the library, resources, and just kind of start.
Listen,
And seeing if that's
anything.
what you want to do. I think that was a really good piece of information. Like, see what they're doing and see if that's even something you want to
What
do.
if that's not what you want to do? Listen, if you go talk to 8,000 business coaches right the second, they're telling you that they're paying for leads from the internet, right? Like because they're wanting someone to provide them a source of warm talent, which may or may not be real, right? Like which may or may not be ready to go, right? Like you have an entire business model of people saying they have a portfolio of people that they'll sell to you.
Hmm.
Okay, right? Like got it, right? Historically speaking, as soon as the founder leaves an organization, the loyalty to the organization drops by like 60%. But okay, right?
Oh,
Like talk
wow.
to any accountant who's looking to buy a book of business, right? Like all of the secrets, like all of the knowledge of this experience, like there's a whole and somebody y'all deserve to hear it. Like people deserve to hear this information, right? It's not
Right.
it's there are too many mistakes to make in the world for you to make them all by yourself. So you owe it to yourself
Mm.
to work a 40-hour work week and spend 5 hours of your work week, right, like outside of work, listening to a podcast of somebody talking about all the things they did wrong so you don't do that. Right? Like,
Mm.
right?
Hmm.
In addition to everything by Brene Brown, I love her work. Everything that she's written, every podcast that she's ever done has been amazing. Where like there's just been a lot of a
Yeah,
wealth
I
of
got like three of
knowledge
her
about how
books.
to
She's awesome. Hmm.
connect as a human being on this planet, right? Like
Hmm.
we desperately need some grace and humility in this world. And we
Oh, for sure.
need, like, the reality is that the bullying behavior from toxic leadership, like like it's top down, right? Like,
Mm.
and you have to speak truth to power, right? And when you've been in the military for a really long time, that can be very challenging to do, right, in a successful manner in the corporate world. And what I mean by that is like in the military arena, right? Like generally you can argue your point and there's a agree to disagree like raw situation, but then like it's like you find a way forward, right? Like a way through it. And because the military can't necessarily fire you, like they're just going to shuffle you around in the thing, like
Right.
they have to deal with it, right? And so like in the corporate world, that is career ending, right? Like that will stop all vertical movement at all, right? Like because that you have to learn different skill sets to learn to work in a different environment, right? Like this is not the same environment, right, from what you've done in your previous function. And so like you owe it to yourself to understand like where the goalposts are. You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah. And I don't think it's a lot of speaking truth to power in corporate.
but there's privilege, right? Like we have to talk about privilege, right? Like, oh my God, whole nother
I,
soapbox topic for another day. If you
yeah.
cannot talk about your privilege, right, like get out of here, like get away from me, right? Like absolutely not. The fact if you don't pay I mean, from a this is actual studies being done from business professionals, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
there's a real tax to being, a person of color and female.
Mm-hmm.
These are the facts as I know them, right? Like this is not my opinion. This is like
Mm-hmm.
peer-reviewed article information stuff that's out there. And so listen, if you're coming in and you happen to not be either one of these two things, right, and you can't speak about your privilege, you're going to be a challenge to work with in the private sector.
But I think
Like,
even amongst, I don't know, I think the one thing I was surprised about out here was I think the way I supervise and lead is a little it's been wired in me, right? You got to protect your people.
yeah,
You're the only line of defense between them and upper leadership
let
because
me, can I come
basically
work for you?
I was in the equivalent of middle management in my career and
Mm,
kind of out here too. But what I noticed is that a lot of people don't do that. And
mm.
I think it's, some could be just cowardice, right? You know,
Or lack of
just
knowledge,
not
right?
have the
Like
courage,
they don't
or
know how.
they don't know how, or fear,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like
Oh yeah.
I don't,
Listen,
because
if you are
self-preservation,
32 weeks pregnant, you're not offering your opinion anywhere at all,
right? Self-preservation,
anywhere.
right? Like I'm not losing my job. I'm
Right.
not, I want to get
I'm
promoted.
not rocking the boat.
I'm not rocking the boat for the sake of you to be comfortable, or
right?
even if it's right. So I think that was a hard adjustment.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, I think organizations talk about like, hey, tell me what's going on and tell me, but at the risk of being seen, as
Vulnerability.
problematic or rocking the boat a little too much. I don't know.
Is
I
your
don't know.
organization healthy? If your organization is healthy and it breeds a environment of safety and vulnerability and growth over and
Hmm.
progress over perfection, I would offer my opinion at full volume, right? But if I happen to work for a toxic organization that's, potentially, you know, problematic for a lot of reasons, right? Like I it just depends on the environment, right? And the marketing PR team can say whatever they want to the full world, right? Like, and that's those are
Hmm.
options. I feel like that's their marketing piece, right? Like it's what they do, right? Like that's
Hmm.
literally what they're there for, right? And so
Hmm.
like you can't buy into the propaganda, right? Like you can't read the newspaper, you can't read what the organizations like. You have to listen to what's happening internally to the organization.
Hmm.
If you have skilled talent in teams that are all working together to achieve an objective, but you have team members dropping like flies from it's a telltale sign that the organization may not be on the level. There may be some level of uh, distress is the
Hmm.
word that I'm going to
Hmm.
use, like that may be going on behind closed doors. The other thing to mention for people who are looking for work is the difference between labor and talent. This came out of 4 Block. Loved everything about the night that we had this conversation. It blew my hair back because it was speaking to an experience that I had had, and I didn't have a way to articulate this idea to somebody else. And I was like, yes, that is exactly
Hmm.
what people are talking about. The difference between being wooed as a part of like talent acquisition, like get you to come on board to the team, right? Like is not the same experience and may not like translate out into you having the same experience once you're labor, once you're on the
Hmm.
payroll, once you're responsible to the deliverables of the experience. And so like
Hmm.
that's when you ask the big questions, right? Like because nobody's stopping you from winning. You can ask previous employees of that organization why they left because you have LinkedIn and you know people who used to work there because LinkedIn tells
LinkedIn,
you
you
so,
got
right? Like
a
there's like you have
Glassdoor.
to think about
Right.
thinking about the strategic, right? Like you are not hopeless. Okay. You are not powerless. It's a challenging market, but challenging seas make skilled sailors, right? Like this is the nature of the work. We are always going to want it to be easier. We are always going to want it to be faster. Okay. We are always going to want it to be smoother and softer and all of these things, right? But that's the human condition, right? Like we
Right.
inherently want to be safe and secure and have our
Right.
cake and eat it
And
too,
and
right? Like
comfort.
it's just who we are, right? Like,
Right.
but since we know that, right? Like I can go spend 20 minutes of my day doing something I hate. And if you follow neuroscience in any way like I do, purely from the untapped potential that's out there for human capacity. Andrew Huberman out of the Huberman Lab out of Stanford is a neuroscientist who's got a workout routine and got a morning routine and got a learning routine and got all these different like things that he does, right, from the science that comes out of his lab, because he's literally researching humans doing behaviors and how to improve adult behavioral change. And if you're a coach like I am and have been, and many other people are, the hardest thing for the world to do in any form or fashion is adult behavioral change. We are not wired for change. It is evolutionarily against our code. And
Hmm.
so anybody who says that they've figured it out has really truly only just figured it out for themselves. That's
Mm.
it, right? Like now you can take skills and abilities from there, and like any good artist, you can steal from one artist and steal from another artist and put that in your toolbox, right? Like because nobody's stopping you from getting all the skill sets. So like
Right.
learn how he does it. Learn
Hmm.
how the best in your industry does what they do, and then ask yourself if you want to do that. And if you want to go do that, then go compete.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right?
Hmm.
Like if you don't, like there's a whole world of ways to make money that have nothing to do with going out and getting clients every day. Like you have to
Right.
decide if that's the work that you want to do, which leads to somebody like Elizabeth Gilbert, who in her book, Big Magic, she talked about the time in her life where I don't know if you guys know, but Eat, Pray, Love was like her sixth book, like ninth book, one of the
Oh,
two.
wow.
Like it was not her first book, and she had written several more after it, like thinking it was never going to happen, and then it was like it happened out of nowhere, right? Like she didn't see it coming, right? Like none of us do. Like nobody sees the overnight success when it happens. But the other thing about it is, how do you follow up with that? Right. And the reality is that if you come to this work because you love it, because that's what you're here on this planet to do, because it brings
Mm-hmm.
joy to your spirit and it is nurturing and it makes you happy, then
Mm-hmm.
that is all it needs to be. Right. Like that is all it
Mm-hmm.
needs to be, because that still makes you a better human in every other aspect of your existence.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then just reminding about sustainable stewardship, right? Like sustainable stewardship is what's in your best interest as an individual first before what you can do to the organization, which is different from the mission that military service members have. But these are two different mindsets, right? Like you have to look, you that mindset was never sustainable over the long period of time, right? At some point in time, you got to set
Facts.
that hat down and pick on the other hat, right? Like, and that's where this is. And this is the time frame where I'm going to encourage you to try on all the things, right? If you want to be a beach bum, go be a beach bum and try it out for a day and see if you like it. If you think you want to go be a ballerina, I want you to go take a ballet class and see how you like it, right? I want you to
Mm-hmm.
try on all these things, because learning is not linear, growth is not linear, and the skill sets that you're learning in one arena, for example, project management, bleeds over into every aspect of business behavior. Okay, in terms of how you organize events, in terms of how you organize sales programs and things of that nature,
Mm-hmm.
in the way that you structure the organization for roles and responsibilities, right? Like all of that can be answered for project management. And for people who are unsure if they want to go into business, I encourage them to look at traditional project management as a outlet potentially for this, for no other for the entire 100% benefit of strengthening your skill set as an entrepreneur, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that information is available to you in one book called the uh, Project Management Book of Knowledge, which is from the
Mm-hmm.
PMI Institute, right? Like so, like
Mm-hmm.
when people tell me that they can't, you can't come here to me with this. I won't listen to it. I won't hear it, right? Like can't is a self-limiting belief, right? You
Mm-hmm.
just haven't figured out how to do it yet,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And the time is going to pass anyway. Unless you get taken out by a bus today, or unless cancer takes you out tomorrow at noon, right? Like the reality is that we must act as if we have 80 years left to do this work. But urgency is important, okay? We underestimate what we can achieve in a year, and we overestimate what we can achieve in a day. So just to
Mm-hmm.
recap that around, everyone over promises every single day, which is why we all feel like we're failing. Okay. And then a whole entire year goes by and we're like, where did the time go? It happened in a nanosecond and I didn't
Where
get
did the
anything done
time
that I
go?
wanted
What
to
did
get
I do
done.
with it? Mm-hmm.
Right. Like, and if you're teaching yourself skills and abilities every single day, you're not going to ask yourself where the time went. You're not going to feel a hole in your bucket about your experience, right? Because you've given yourself permission to go try it on,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're like me, along the way, you discover 1,000 things about yourself that you didn't know. Aside from the fact that you are building expert level skill sets by putting time in the chair, right? 10,000 hours, right? You're just running the clock up, right? Like it's just time, right? Like it's just time in the chair. And that this applies to anything. However, I will tell you, if you happen to learn one skill set, and again, I'm going to go one step below project management, I'll go to communications. If you happen to get a degree or a informal self-directed degree in communications, right? Communications covers sales marketing materials, so like how we communicate to others, right? Like public speaking, how we communicate to broadcast in different forms and different mediums, right? Then we get into public relations if we choose to go down that route. And are we talking to organizations and people, or are we just talking to individuals, right? Like all of this stacks. All of the information that you learn from learning that one skill set will improve your life experience in all of the other arenas of your life. Go as fast as possible and go learn the things, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's all out there. So as fast as possible. But if you're me, you didn't get your first mentor until you were 24, right? Like, might feel late to the party. You might feel like this isn't the message for you at the right time, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
just make yourself a promise that you're never going to give up on yourself ever, right? and that you are going to be your best friend through this entire process because nobody's going to look out for you as much as you are. And that should be, that's correct. That's the way it should be. Where like,
Mm-hmm.
and then go build your community so that they do look out for you, like, and so that you can look out for them, right? Like, and then, but get your house in order, where like, if time, education, and money weren't a factor, what would you be doing? And I want you to go do that. And then if along the way you decide that you want to build a business, then go build the business, right? But I
Mm-hmm.
just want you to be a happier human, right? Like, and it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't necessarily mean economics. It may very well need to be economic, where like there's
Right.
that component of it. But
Mm-hmm.
the reality is that if you weren't, if this conversation ended and you got off the call with me, right, like what would you be doing next? If you're me, full honesty and full transparency and disclosure, I'm probably going to Facebook, where I like to see what's going on Facebook in the last 3 minutes since I've looked at it, because I'm hopelessly addicted to it, right? Like, here's what I'm doing to mitigate that. I have, for my New Year's resolution this year, I took it upon myself to teach myself art. So I take a sketchbook with me, a $6 sketchbook and a pencil, like literally a graphite, like 2B pencil. And when we go to a restaurant to eat dinner, while I'm waiting for the waitress to bring us our food, I am sketching in my sketchbook and I'm not looking at my phone.
That's good. That's
And
good.
now I'm
I
trying
just,
to reach
yeah.
the point where when I wake up in the morning, I'm not reaching for my phone, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to stop it because there's nothing,
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
gotta
there's
break
nothing
it.
good there.
Yeah. I gotta break the
Like,
habit. I've gone months without social media, then I get back on, and now like
right,
I'm at the point where,
worst like loop.
and I heard somebody say, you have to give yourself permission to be bored,
Yeah.
right? Like, because now I'm always thinking about, well, what did I do before this? It's like I was
Creativity is a
okay
muscle.
without, right?
Innovation is a muscle.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
have to be bored. You have to be by yourself. Like you have you like to do this work. If you made a comment earlier at the start of our conversation that I wanted, like I was ready to talk to like immediately talked about, and then I was like, well, it's not appropriate to talk about it there. But you mentioned that there were people out there who were visionaries, and you were in the way that the conversation was happening, you were saying to me that you did not consider yourself to be a visionary, and I
No.
disagree.
Oh, how so?
You just you haven't practiced the skill set of being a visionary in order to cultivate the skill set. Okay,
Mm.
like seriously, it's a muscle and you can build it. Like you can grow it. Like everybody, like it's just for people who are visionary, they've gotten very comfortable with not having control over what the outcome of the vision is, right? So they are very flexible about getting to it, right? Like they just have the vision and then they give it to other people to help them carry it out, right? Like this is what
Mm.
visionary people do. And so when it comes into like this skill set, you can cultivate the skill set by building it's there's a word I'm looking for here. Give me a minute to think about it. Inoculation. What is this word? It's when you um the continued you build up a tolerance to the experience, right? Like you build up a knowledge bank to the experience. So when you continually come to an empty sheet of paper and you ask yourself how you're going to fill that sheet of paper, that is a problem to solve. Then you begin to carry out the work, right?
Mm.
And so when you ask yourself, what do I want to do with my life? Because that is the thing that has the most value and meaning, right? Then you become visionary about how you achieve that objective. In my case, if time, education, and money weren't a factor, I'd be using my confidence and enthusiasm to authentically connect with people to build deep and meaningful relationships that allow my life to be filled with joyful travel and learning. I desire to serve others to create positive impact that spreads with both breadth and depth, spanning countries and generations. Okay, so like none of that money's not in there anywhere, right? Like abundance is all over that, right? Like
Mm.
extreme wealth is all over that. And
Mm-hmm.
those are different mindsets, right? Like different mindsets. Money is a tool. Money is a resource that helps you get to the things that you need to get, right? Like
Right.
if you need to find resources, you cultivate that skill set, you build that skill set. But like money just makes you have more problems. Like Warren Buffett's got money problems. He's just got better money problems. He's still got money problems. You know what I mean?
And
Like
money
he's
makes
got the
you
same
more of who
problems.
you are. I once heard
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It just
So
makes you more
like
of who you are.
listen,
Mm-hmm.
if we could help people be more happy with what they have now, Like, what would that do?
Right. Right.
You don't have to work 80 hours a week,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, you don't have to give your soul to a faceless corporation.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think this has been a great conversation.
Yeah.
Um, it just flowed. I didn't look at my question sheet once.
I've talked on some of this for a really long time. If there's anything
Hmm.
you'd like us to go into more detail about, I'd be happy to have another meeting of some
Yeah,
kind, especially if Celeste would
I
like to
think it would be good
reconnect.
to have you back, and we can talk about that once we stop recording. But no, it's been great.
Just here to love on people. Right? Like,
Yeah.
but it's at Firehose. And if you have not had this experience before and you have not met somebody who's fired up and motivated and lives this in
Hmm.
their daily function, right? Like
Hmm.
there's no point in gaining wealth and going through all the work to get busy, right, and build your whole life full of new problems if you're not solving the original problem that you were trying to go do at the very beginning. And I want people to start there, right? Like, do you want money because it's going to solve a problem, or or can we just solve your problem, right? Like whatever that
Hmm.
problem happens to be, right? Like
Hmm.
I want more work-life balance. I want my spouse to
Hmm.
be a helpmate and a teammate, right? Like I want to no longer do these dishes, right? Like if
Hmm.
it's I never want to touch this house ever again, right? Like that's valid and good, and let's go
Hmm.
find you a side hustle that pays for that, right? Like that's
Hmm. Right.
a solution to solve, right? Like
Hmm.
we don't have to go build and I think the camp that I come from is like um a poop scooping business for a teenager where like you could literally go get a wagon and have one teenager literally go up and down the street of his entire neighborhood and like get 15 clients right then and there for somebody to come poop scoop the yard once a week, right? Like or
Hmm.
twice a week, like whatever they decided. So the
Hmm.
solutions are out there. It comes into being creative and open-minded to when you hear the solution, where like or when you hear the idea or the voice of the calling that says that this is where you're supposed to go or what
Hmm.
the things that light you up, go do those things,
Hmm.
right? We
Hmm.
don't need more zombies. We don't need more workaholics. We don't need more technicians building bad businesses. We're like
Hmm.
be mindful about how you do it. But
Hmm.
if you're ready to go, we're like call me. We're like
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Like how fast you go is up to you, right? Like
You're
if you
right.
want to go fast, go alone, right? If you want to go far, go with others. And so
Hmm.
I believe in going far, which is why I give all this stuff away, right? Like if you love what you do, you're gonna give it away, but give it away in the right ways. Give it away in the
Hmm.
ways that help you benefit the most. For
Hmm.
you, if you decide to go down this road, I would encourage you to begin to build your network to incorporate your podcast so that you're getting exposure as an expert in your field, as well as
Hmm.
building a bank of interviews that you've had that establish like the rapport of what you bring to the table. And so,
Hmm.
and then
Hmm.
any opportunity that I, as a guest, can talk you up and showcase you and what you do and all those things, like that's typically what you want from your podcast interview. But,
Hmm.
you know,
Hmm.
helping bring in the talent that you got from your network would also be super valuable to
Hmm.
people who are listening for you and your message. So it's
Hmm.
out there.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. Today it has been great. This has been great with Stella. And any information or resources, we'll leave it in the description of the podcast. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
I
we'll
had a
see y'all
blast.
next episode.